Welcome to Crush House. I'm your host, Wayne Allyn, the CEO of VegasWinners.com, and the man the media calls the king of Vegas sports gambling and America's odds maker. My company, Vegas Winners, sponsors the Crush House series, which includes this podcast, Crush House, as well as Crush House Cappers and Crush House Legends. I want to remind you to go to VegasWinners.com right after this podcast ends for one of my world-famous games of the year. Just register. It's simple, it's easy, it takes 1 minute or less, and you automatically receive $1,000 in free coupons. You also get 5,000 rewards points, which can be converted into gifts and prizes with our state-of-the-art cryptocurrency reward system. It's all at VegasWinners.com. Later in the show, I'll be back with my Football Insider segment with former NFL quarterback and Canadian Football League champion, Jon Salisbury. And we've got one heck of a debate coming up about Jon Gruden's firing, or maybe it's his resignation. They forced him to walk the plank. Something like that. We'll be right back. Wayne Allyn with the one and only Jon Salisbury, former NFL quarterback, former Grey Cup champion from our friends up north in old Canada. And Sean coming to us from Houston. Houston, we have a problem. It's Jon Gruden. How are you, Sean?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, bud?
Good. I know you and I usually agree on everything. We're not big debaters, but we're going to disagree, I think, on this one, because I know you think that Gruden, in today's environment, had to be fired. Give us your side of things.
Well, to me, it's simple. Listen, I've known Jon a long time. He's always treated me well, but the bottom line is I loved the guy, and I get it, but what he did was inexcusable. I mean, when you talk about the first email, we thought, okay, is there the race issue? But for 7 years, text or email after email after email. At some point, when does common sense come in? Now, that doesn't mean you turn away your back on him if you're his friend and don't give him love, but you had to replace him. He had to resign. I wouldn't know how you address your team. I mean, he hit it all. He hit the anti-gay, misogynistic, the race situation. And whether it's 1950, 1980, 2010, 2050, when does common sense kick in, whether it's in your soul? I don't know if Jon's racist or doesn't like, or he's misogynistic. I don't know. But the emails, the optics tell me he's got a problem. So for me, when does it kick in? You're thinking, you know what? This probably isn't real smart. And then if you're a player or a person or anybody reading them, you're thinking to yourself, okay, Jon, is the joke, okay, what another joke, and 10,000 jokes, 3,000 jokes? There comes a point in time, Jon Gruden needs help. There is no question about it. So sometimes we all have laughed at something in our lives that we probably shouldn't have, but one after the other tells me that Jon Gruden, when it came to this situation, just doesn't get it. There is no way in hell you could have let him dress your team after that. Jon Gruden will never coach again. He will never be on the broadcast platform again. He's done.
Well, I understand that, and I think it's ridiculous. I've never heard anything so silly in my life. He said a few words on a private email. That's no one's business, Sean, what you say in a private email. What do you say in a locker room to your friends? Can you imagine this being recorded?
Not that.
Well, President Trump said, I grabbed women by the you-know-what, and he got elected president 2 months later, and women voted for him. If Gruden ran for U.S. Senate tomorrow in Nevada, he'd be the next U.S. Senator. I guarantee you.
Let me be the point counterpoint.
People don't care. NFL people don't care. You know who cares? Women, gays, and I guess minorities care. But the guys who watch the NFL couldn't care less. They care about wins and losses. Well, that's the only thing that should matter is wins and losses. If you're an asshole, which every coach I've ever met is an asshole and mean and nasty and opinionated, but you win, you keep your job. And
okay, let me ask you this. He doesn't win. Nice, you lose. Wayne, he doesn't win. He doesn't win. Wayne, he doesn't win.
Well,
he's been okay. He's 2 years away from being fired with a... No, my argument is this. And I love this debate, and you know how much respect and love I have for you. But you said, well, everybody does it. That's not true. I played in the NFL for 10 years, and I didn't walk around the locker room, and I didn't see anybody walking around the locker room talking about gay, misogynistic.
You don't hear...
I've heard it. No, but you said it. But you... Oh, we've all heard it. But
Players
you said everybody...
don't call a weak player.
Let me finish.
When they got him to tackle, they call it F, as in the gay slur. You haven't heard that all day long.
Do you realize in my 10 years from 86 to 96... in the locker room, that F word when it comes to anti-gay, I never heard. Now, I'm not saying nobody says it in their private time and what their character's about. but I couldn't disagree more on this part. I know just because Donald Trump or Joe Biden get elected and we wonder what's in their emails, the bottom line here is getting elected or being a coach still doesn't make it right. Yeah, there's a lot of assholes and yellers and screamers and motherfucking players on the field, but there's a big difference between motherfucking a guy for jumping off sides than misogynistic, using the gay slur on a regular basis.
So here's my point. Here, all right, got it.
And he's coaching. We're 70 to 80% African American, but you don't have to be black to be offended by what you saw.
But there's something I must have misheard, because I never heard a single racist thing. He was talking about the head of the NFL Players Association who was going to take the players on strike, and he was pissing on him, and he made some joke about his lips. Now, you could take that as racist, or you could take it as, this guy's got a big mouth, he yaps too much, I hate his guts. He didn't say the N-word, which most black players call other black players. He never said something that's racist. He just made a comment about a guy who happens to be black. For 8 years, I hit Obama on national TV again and again and again, and I heard idiots call me racist, and I said, did I ever refer to the color of his skin? I don't like his politics. I couldn't care less about the color of his skin. Attacking someone who's black doesn't make you a racist. If the same person was white, they wouldn't say you were racist.
Well, can't now let's go back to the common sense IQ of this, Wayne. I get it. If you want to attack, if you want to go on and say I can't stand President Obama, or if you're black and you say I can't stand or President, I'm talking about,
I can't stand Biden. I guess I hate white people.
ex-President Obama or Biden or what have you. My point is this. Doesn't there got to be some common sense IQ and all this?
Someone was out to get him, and he has $1 billion lawsuit.
I don't disagree with that.
You can't release people's private emails. What I say in this email to someone is no one's business and cannot affect my career. Or it can, and I'm going to sue everyone involved for $1 billion. But here's my main point. Let me get in my main point. I have a commentary coming out today at political sites all over the country. And the commentary is, I demand to see every email for the last 10 years of the commissioner of the NFL. I demand to see every email for the last 10 years of every owner in the NFL. I'll bet you $1 million every owner in the NFL makes racist comments at various times about their own players. And
but it doesn't make it right.
No.
It doesn't make it right.
But by that standard, we'd have to close the NFL down. The worst one of all is the players. I want to see the texts of the players. Richard Sherman beat the crap out of people, knocked down a door, tried to hurt his wife. Richard Sherman's playing right now for the Super Bowl champions. It's actions more important than words. How come a guy who hits his wife and goes insane 3 months ago is playing in the NFL? And
I can't give you those answers.
10 years ago? Yeah.
I can't give you those answers.
It's all hypocrisy.
Well, there's some hypocrisy that goes along. And hey, listen, laying your hand on a woman, you need to be held accountable too. But
he's playing. He's playing.
Okay.
He shouldn't be playing till the trial is over.
Then great. Then go deal with. Well, he's not. What trial's over? He's not. Have they filed criminal charges against him? I know he was arrested. I don't know. Right. Okay.
What about Deshaun Watson? And I've defended Deshaun Watson on this show.
Well, Deshaun Watson's not playing.
No,
Deshaun Watson's not playing.
I know, but there's plenty of teams that would play him. Trust me. Houston chose not to.
Well, but let's stay the course here.
So why not Gruden held to the same standard as Watson? You're
Let me ask you
suspended
this.
until we prove or don't prove that you
I
did
don't get
something
to
wrong.
make the I don't get to make the rules of the NFL of why one guy gets to get off and gets off because he hits somebody.
I know why. Because he called the commissioner a pussy. That's why. The commissioner said, I'm going to ruin this guy. I'm going to destroy him. I had the top lawyer in America on my show the other day. Well, I'll say one of the top lawyers in America. And the lawyer said, without any question, an investigation about something that has nothing to do with Gruden, that turns up emails that have nothing to do with Gruden, those emails were not pertinent to the sexual harassment investigation. No one had any right to use them or release them. And she said it's $1 billion lawsuit. The NFL should be held responsible for ruining this man's career. Now, you may be right.
No, John was self-inflicted. John
never should have been released, Sean.
That part I understand. Listen,
someone was out to get Jon Gruden. Now, maybe it was Mark Davis who didn't want to pay $100 million contract anymore for a guy that's 10 games under 500.
Mark Davis did not do that.
Someone tried to ruin Jon Gruden's life.
I don't disregard I don't disagree that it's peculiar of 650,000 emails we've only seen Gruden's. I get that part. But my point is, it doesn't make what Jon Gruden did better. And
I'm not arguing what he did was right. I'm just arguing no one should have ever seen it.
But you said he should have never been fired.
Things. Everybody does the same things in emails. Do you know
that is not true? That is.
Okay. So
Wayne, I have never, ever. Now listen. Have I cussed and said something stupid? Do I have skeletons that have fallen out my closet? Have I been in trouble with a cell phone picture before? Fuck yes, I have. But I think putting an umbrella statement on this, that puts you. That makes it just as wrong. That's like me saying you said every athlete cheats on his wife, right? Right?
I said every athlete cheats on his wife. I said a lot of them do.
Okay,
a lot of them do.
That would be like me saying everybody on this show or everybody sends bad emails and cheats on their girlfriend or wife.
I'll say that if you looked at the texts of today's current players for a week, not for 10 years, for a week, you'd have enough evidence to close the whole league down.
It still doesn't make it right.
By that standard.
So would you have kept Jon Gruden? He resigned. Would you have kept him and had him address your team?
I would have suspended him for 1 to 3 games and then let him come on. And if he keeps control of the team, he's fine. And it's all forgotten and you get rid of it. Just like Richard Sherman beat the shit out of someone and I see it's forgotten.
He did.
If he could play.
He argued. Richard Sherman didn't punch anybody. He broke into his own home.
It was a violent incident. Violent incident. How about Ben Roethlisberger? Let's take another guy. Ben Roethlisberger. Wasn't he accused of rape? And it all kind of went away. First he was suspended, and then it went away, you know? So anyway, look, that's our debate.
Let me ask one last thing for you, brother, and I respect it. But let me ask you, where is the line? Where is the line for you?
Okay, I'll tell you where it is.
Where is the line for you?
The words don't matter. It's bullshit. But in today's society, you're right. Words are too important to all the idiots running our country. Only actions matter. Players beat the shit out of people. Players rape people. Players knock their girlfriends unconscious. And Jon Gruden said something 10 years ago in an email. You know what I say? It's all fucking ridiculous. It's
7
ridiculous.
years of it. I respect that, and I do believe that it's curious that Jon's the only one.
Right.
But I can't fathom that a team that anybody in that locker room would respect him walking back in and trying to say.
All right. Well, I'm not going to argue it.
He also coaches an openly gay player. He coaches Carl Nassib. He did coach him.
All right. We got to get on to more important questions. But I just want to say, he never said anything anti-gay. He called straight men the F word and a pussy word. That's not an anti-gay slur. If you call gay men that word, that's a bad slur. That's the same thing as black men calling each other the N-word. If a white guy does it, oh my God, it's the end of the world. When a black guy does it, they do it all the time. So if you call a straight man the F word for a slur for gay people, that's just saying he's soft. That's not saying something against gay people.
So let me ask you this. If President Biden or President Trump, when he was president, or President Obama, stood up and he was talking to a straight group. And
totally
he said,
different.
He said, you guys are a bunch of, he used the F word and addressed them like that.
Right.
Why?
Terrible.
Why? Because the president's held to a higher standard?
No. Because if Jon Gruden did it in the locker room with cameras rolling, it's completely different than a private conversation between him and Bruce Allyn. That's where I'm getting you. Listen, Sean, I have thousands of emails a day. I get 2,000 a day, and I answer everybody.
I'm not saying it's not private.
I have no idea what I said 10 years ago in an email. And if
I'm
it
not
gets
saying
leaked,
it's private.
then it's wrong.
I'm not saying the private's not the. I understand the private part, but my part is the character of sending them. Isn't there something fundamentally and characteristically and
he was
soul
talking
searching
to
wrong?
one of his best friends, I guess, Bruce Allyn, and they were making fun. It's like Trump with the grab the women by the. Do you think Trump was a racist? No, he made a stupid comment in front of another guy in a locker room like setting. Hey man, I get all the ladies. Get any guy who's off camera in a locker room, and they will say stupid things, but you shouldn't be judged for the rest of your life.
I've said a lot of stupid things, but I ain't ever saying what Jon Gruden wrote in an email in my private life or in my public life. There you go.
We've had our debate. I'd love to see how NFL fans would vote. I'll bet you 80 million Trump voters are mostly the NFL's fans, and they would say just like
to
Trump.
Me, this isn't politics. To me, this is just
this
is human character.
It's political
character.
Political correctness. The NFL audience is not offended. They only want to see wins and losses. That's my opinion. So I'd love to see a poll on it. I'll bet you the people that watch the NFL couldn't care less and they think what happened to Gruden's wrong. But everybody else who doesn't watch the NFL thinks it's the worst thing they've ever heard because we're a nation of fucking snowflakes who want safe spaces. and we have opinions. Opinions are allowed in America. If you don't like it, shut off the TV, shut off the radio, don't go to a Raiders game. But if the guy wins, if he wins, he deserves his $60 million more. If he doesn't win, fire him based on wins and losses. That's my only opinion. That's it. Show me a nice coach who never says those things, but he goes 0-16. He's fired. Show me a coach who's nasty and he goes 16-0. I like that guy. Pay him. I don't care what he says. That's all I'm trying to say in his private emails. But in a locker room in front of a camera, you're certainly not going to say those things, obviously. But in a locker room when no one's watching, guys say those things.
Then I don't know which guy, then who is the guy that's coaching me that I'm supposed to trust.
Well, do you trust the players? Because I played football, but not NFL football like you. I heard the F word thrown around every second. The minute you fumbled the ball, someone called someone, look at that pussy, look at that F. That's what everybody said when I grew up.
Now, the P word's thrown around a lot.
Right, a lot. But the F word's thrown around a lot too. It's wrong. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying everyone on that field has done it at one time in their lives, and they don't get held to the standard.
But 7 years straight? 7 years of emails while he's working at ESPN? 7 years he's doing money.
Maybe I have a different understanding than you. They cherry-picked 4 emails out of thousands and thousands of emails. So I don't think it was 7 years straight. But anyway, listen, he was the most popular NFL Monday Night Football announcer because he's a personality guy like me. He says what comes out of his mouth. You make mistakes sometimes. If he apologizes, forgive the guy. That's all I'm saying to you. I'll bet you money. Here's the last thing I'll say. I will make it political. If he said, I hate fucking white Republicans and Trump could go fuck himself in an email, he'd be the coach of the Raiders right now. There isn't one person that would fire a guy for saying that. You only get fired because you called Biden a pussy. And the commissioner a pussy. That's the only reason he was fired. He wasn't politically correct. He attacked the wrong side. That's what got him fired in the end, in my humble opinion. Attention, sports bettors. Has anyone ever given you $1,000 before? I mean really given you $1,000 in free point spread advice. I'm Wayne Allyn, the man in media calls the king of Vegas sports gambling and America's odds maker. To celebrate our new website, Vegas Winners, I'm giving $1,000 of free coupons to the first 10,000 sports bettors who register. It's simple and easy. Just be among the first 10,000 to register right now at Vegas Winners for your $1,000 of free coupons. Sports gambling, legal and licensed in states all over the USA. And I built the world's best sports handicapping website for you because you need expert advice. We've got it all. Free picks and best bets every day from 21 champion handicappers, as well as the latest scores and odds, and every sports handicapping tool you need to win big. All of that free. It's fully automated, completely private, no one to ever speak to. Be one of the first 10,000 to register right now and get your $1,000 of free coupons. Go right now to Vegas Winners, your new home for sports betting advice. That's Vegas Winners.